All right, we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. We are here on the state of Georgia versus Melody Walker Farris in 23 CR 0715. This defendant was convicted on November 4th, 2024 of 5 counts. Count 1, malice murder. Count 2, felony murder. Count 3, aggravated assault. Count 4, concealing the death of another. And count 5, making false statements. We're here for sentencing on those 5 counts, which a jury convicted her and found her guilty for. In regards to the sentencing, Judge, both the defense and I agree that under 16.17, the court is going to sentence on count 1. Count 2 will be vacated as a matter of law. Count 3 will merge into count 1. And then the court will sentence on 4 and 5. And the range for 4 is 1 to 10, and that's 16.10.31. And the range for count 5 is 1 to 5 under 16.10.20.
All right, Mr. Weaver, Mr. Ray, y'all in agreement with that?
Yes, Judge.
All right. All right, you have evidence you want to present?
I have one exhibit to present, and then 2 exhibits to present, and then the family has a few impact statements.
All right.
Possibly just one that they would like me to read into the record, which I have already shown the defense.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
State's Exhibit 1 is a video of Gary Farris with his granddaughter, Olivia.
That dress in the box on there.
Aren't you?
She's at that point. She wants to flip
You're
over on
just
her
one
belly.
girl. That's all you is. You're just a square girl. You don't stand up for me. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I know.
She wasn't talking
Had a
to
rough day.
Mom.
Who was the child?
Olivia, his granddaughter, Emily Payne's
All
daughter.
right. Okay.
And that was from May of 2018. And then, Judge, this is just a photo, State's Exhibit 2, that we'd like to put into evidence as well.
All right.
And at this time, I'm going to read into the record a statement written by Emily Payne on behalf of the family. Your Honor, since our father was taken from us, our lives have been filled with an unbearable void. Every day feels like a constant reminder of what we have lost. Gary was a father, grandfather, brother, uncle, friend, and colleague to many. We miss his laughter, his warmth, and his presence in our lives. It's a pain that will never go away. Gary was not just our beloved father, but our confidant and our rock. Now we are left to navigate life without his guidance and support. Every milestone, every happy moment is tainted by the thought that he will not be here to share it with us. There will be no more birthday parties, backyard gatherings, holiday celebrations, or other family activities to share together. Those opportunities to say I love you are forever gone. Our family is forever broken from this tragedy. This loss is only made worse by the betrayal of trust we feel for our mother. To know that the person who caused the suffering to our family was someone we relied on the most is a wound that may never heal. Our children are now growing up without their Big Daddy and Grandma. The impact on their young lives is devastating. They ask questions we cannot answer, and we often find ourselves lost for words when they ask why they don't have a grandmother or grandfather. We ask this court to consider the gravity of this crime, the devastating impact it has had on our family, and to ensure that justice is served. No sentence can ever bring our father back, but a just punishment can offer a semblance of closure and prevent another family from experiencing this unimaginable pain. Your Honor, that's all of the statements and evidence the state has. I just have closing.
All right. What do we need? We need to do something with the other indictment.
Yes, Judge, I will be submitting an all
Okay.
to that indictment.
All right.
I've informed the defense of that.
Okay. We can do that after sentencing. That's fine.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Weaver, Mr. Ray?
Judge, we have two witnesses, or actually, we have one that he's prepared a statement. We were just going to call him and let him read the statement.
All right, that's fine.
Fifth call, Mr. Dave Thomas.
Where do you want him, Judge?
He can just come up to the lectern, it's fine. All right, go ahead. Yeah, swear him in.
Raise your right hand. You swear and affirm any testimony that you give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, put your hand down. And Judge, just for record purposes, can you say your name?
David Thomas.
Okay, and have you prepared a statement to read to the court for purposes of sentencing?
I have.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, may I address the court and say a few things to you and the family?
All right.
First, I'd like to address the Farris family. I want each and every one of you to know how sorry I am for the loss of your dad, your brother, and Melody, for your husband, Gary. I understand what it's like to lose both parents. I buried both of mine in the pouring down rain in 29-degree weather on a Christmas Eve not too long ago. So I understand all the questions about death and why. Yours is even more complicated as to who and why. You are all in my prayers and in my thoughts as these years have gone by. No amount of money can ever replace a parent, a spouse, or a brother, and no amount of money is ever worth anybody's life. Second, Melody, I am your friend. And I will stand up for you today because in the 8 months, 6 years ago that I came to know you, I witnessed what a true friend could be to another friend of ours who was fighting for his life, as he still is today. I saw what your heart was made of in spite of your own circumstances and problems, and that you wanted to help, not to hurt, but to help. I saw the kindness you showed myself along with other people around you. I know your story always remained the same, and it never changed. And in my heart of hearts, I believe in your innocence. For I would not be here today along with our friend in spirit, Alan, who is fighting this horrible disease called cancer as we speak. Third, Your Honor, this is my friend Melody. Melody Walker Farris, whom I come before you today on her behalf as a friend to ask you for mercy. I ask you for grace. I ask you for leniency upon your decision of her sentencing. Gary's death was a horrible tragedy, and there is no excuse for murder on any level. But to convict someone and sentence them for life is even more of a tragedy in itself, especially if it is the wrong person, and especially if all of the evidence was not able to be presented to the jury as a complete investigation should have been brought forth. There were a lot of holes in this case and a lot of unanswered questions. I don't know who's responsible for Gary's death. I know the jury did the best they could with the information that they had to work with, Your Honor. But there were doubts, and there still are for many of us in this case today. I don't know who will have to live with that burden for the rest of their lives, but in coming to know Melody, I cannot believe she is the one responsible for her husband's death. And if
Judge, I'm going to object. He cannot impeach the verdict. That's improper statement. He can talk about it affects him and the family, but he cannot impeach the verdict.
I'm going to let him go ahead.
If I gave you a roadmap and tore it in half and expected you to reach a decision in this case without all of the information, that would not be fair to anyone, including Gary, if the wrong person was convicted. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. Anyone got any questions?
No.
All right.
Judge, we just
All right.
have one more. If the court will recall, there was a gentleman that sat behind Ms. Farris during the entirety of the trial. That is Mr. Alan Wilson. Who's suffering from cancer, as you're not what you're referring to. He's unable to be here due to the sickness.
Okay.
So he's very safe and fine for the court.
All right. Y'all.
I've seen it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Judge, it'll take just a second because I got to zoom in. Mr. Alan Wilson writes, I've been Melody Walker Farris's friend for the past 30 years. I helped to build her and Gary's house at Hampton Hall, and that's where our friendship began. I have watched her children grow up over the years and become adults. Melody has always been an incredible friend to me. Melody always went the extra mile to make sure that I was okay in my life, even at times when things were not good in hers. I appreciate her more than you know, especially 6 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It took everything she had to help my friend Dave throw a surprise Christmas gathering for me, but she did, even when her world was falling apart. We have done things over the years like dinner, social events, and just plain hanging out, as Melody would give you the shirt off her back. She always loved her children, no matter what. She loved Gary from the beginning and stuck with him over the years, stating and trying to raise their 4 children as a mother should. She was there for Gary when he was sick. She was there for her children when they needed her. And next one. And she was there for all of us. Judge, I believe we just will have some argument as to sentence, but Ms. Farris wanted to address the court whenever it's appropriate.
I'll generally let her go last, so long as she doesn't talk about the facts of the case. So y'all can go ahead and present.
I'm going to reserve that, yes.
All right, go ahead.
Judge, just ask that argument. We've already addressed the murder issue. We agree with that. Aggravated assault should merge into the malice murder count based on the way that the indictment reads. So the court will only be sentencing on count 1, count 4, as well as count 5. The court knows you can sentence her to a minimum of life as to count 1, or a maximum of life without the possibility of parole. The court can also run consecutive to either one of those sentences, a maximum of 15 years. We will be asking the court to ask count 1, sentence Ms. Farris to life with the possibility of parole. Ask to count 4, 10 years concurrent, and ask to count 5 years concurrent, both to count 1. Looking at the Department of Corrections inmate population, which apparently is readily available online, you can see that once a person gets over the age of 65, their presence in the prison system dwindles dramatically. Melody is currently 63 years old. Any sentence really that this court gives, if it gives her life with the possibility of parole, with the current restrictions on parole eligibility being at 30 years for this sentence, is essentially a death sentence for Ms. Farris. Before even being eligible and not guaranteed parole after 30 years, that would make her 93 years old before she's eligible for parole. in looking at the female population of the current Department of Corrections, there are currently, at her age, only 11 females currently in custody in the state of Georgia. If you go 10 years from that, you get to 74. There is one, and there are no females older than 74 currently housed within the Department of Corrections. Based on that, Judge, and the facts of the case as the court heard them, there's a reason for this to be a trial and to be such a long trial. I think that there was some doubt, especially with the jury stating that at one point they weren't hung and then coming back with a verdict. And we respect the jury's verdict, although we do not agree with it. So for those reasons, her age, her lack of criminal history, which the court has heard hundreds of times during all the bond hearings and that we had over the years, of which she had no history, that the appropriate sentence in this case would be the court to sentence her to life on count 1, with counts 4 and 5, 5 and 10 to run concurrent. At least that will give her some possibility of being parole eligible at some point in the future.
All right.
Judge,